I'm back once again to give my review for the Expendables 2. Well, the summer movie season is coming to a close, and what a way to end it, with all the action heroes from the 80s and 90s, uniting on screen to have some sort of a Royal Rumble or something. It's a good way to end the summer and all, and I'm here to give my review on the movie. For those who are familiar with the first Expendables, which came out, in 2010, that one was directed by Sylvester Stallone. It involves a group of mercenaries who don't exist. They don't exist really. They are just a group of mercenaries who are good at what they do. They are pretty much freelance. They are freelance agents. They take on jobs, for money and all that. That's pretty much everything in a nutshell. This sequel, it's about, their familiar faces. You got Sylvester Stallone, you got Jason Statham, you got Dolph Lundgren, you got Jet Li, you got Terry Crews, and you've got a new face in Liam Hemsworth who plays Billy the Kid, I think. Yeah. They are supposed to, they are on this mission. From Mr. Church to retrieve an item, from a particular country, which looks like an easy paycheck for them. It's an easy job. But what they don't realize is that there's also a rival mercenary group led by Jean Villain, who's played by the great Jean-Claude Van Damme, who's also after this object. And as a result, one of their members gets killed brutally, and they are out for revenge. Frankly, going into this movie, my expectations, going into the first one, when I went to see the first one back in 2010, my expectations were that, okay, I'll just go in there to see an action movie. There isn't necessarily going to be a good, plot and everything, and that's not really what I'm looking for in this movie, and that's not really what I expect. And my expectations is pretty much the same for this one as well, because, this is a case of, it's what you expect is what you get, really. In this one, you go into this one expecting, a lot of hand-to-hand fist fights, a lot of explosions, a lot of shootouts, pure entertainment, pure fun, just a fun popcorn movie in theaters and all. And that's what I got, really. And anyone who goes to see this movie with those expectations will not be disappointed. As a matter of fact, they will be satisfied. They will be very satisfied with what they see. All the elements of what they're expecting was there. Just pure action, action, action. The story really isn't necessarily ambitious. It's not necessarily good. It's not that good. It's just vague. It's just a story to keep the movie running, in my opinion, really. The main end game is entertainment, and that's what this movie set out to do. And I respect this movie. I like these movies for that. They're not really trying to be anything more than that. They don't really try to be innovative or creative. They just set out to do what they set out to do. And I like these movies for that. I enjoy them the way they are, really. And if you go into this movie expecting anything more than just, old school entertainment with cheesy dialogue, with over-the-top action sequences of hand-to-hand fist fights, you will be disappointed. Don't go into this movie expecting anything like the Bourne series or the Bourne Identity or the Bourne Ultimatum, because that's another level of action movie. This one is a throwback old school action movie. So if you go into this movie with low expectations, or just with low expectations, you'll be satisfied, trust me, because you have a blast. You'll be entertained by this movie. With the characters, let me breeze through the characters real quick. Barney Ross is the leader. This movie is directed by Simon West, the guy that directed Con Air. He's a good director. He took over Sylvester Stallone, who directed the first one. And the difference is clear in this one. He did a very good job in this one in making sure that all the characters matter. In an ensemble, cast movie like this, it's important and it's imperative that all the cast members matter and they all have something to do in this movie. Everybody has their own screen time, from Barney Ross, who is the leader of the mercenaries and who probably gets the most screen time, to Lee Christmas, played by Jason Statham, to Gunnar Jensen, played by Dolph Lundgren, to Terry Crews, and even Liam Hemsworth. Even he's His performance was great in this movie. I really liked him in this movie. You know, prior to this movie, seeing him amongst this cast, I thought it was out of place, but you know, he knocked his role out of the park. So credit, kudos to him. Everybody, you know, brought their A game. Randy Couture, everybody, you know, the set pieces were fantastic. The fight scenes were well choreographed and well shot. The explosions weren't as, you know, over the top as the last one was. You know, some of the explosions in the first one were, you know, were pretty, you know, damaging for the ears. But this one, they did it well this time. Everything was believable, and the pacing was much better than the last one. And the dialogue was a lot less cheesy than the first movie as well. There was less cheesy dialogue. You know, there's still some cheesy lines, but you know, it's what you come to expect with movies like this. So, those were my, you know, main positives of the movie. I also liked this guy Van Damme's role. It's good to see him back on screen. You know, in a pretty good action movie, and not just straight to DVD crap. It's good to see Van Damme back as a villain, and he did a good job as a villain. John Villan, it was very entertaining villain. It was very believable, and he knocked his role out of the park. Chuck Norris, the cameo he made was funny, very fantastic, and this movie gave action fans, especially action fans of the 80s, moments that they will always cherish, like moments where you see Schwarzenegger or Willis or Stallone in the screen at the same time shooting bad guys. You know, moments like that are, you know, they are once in a lifetime, and it's good that we get to see that. And now going to I had only a few gripes about this movie. One of the few gripes I had about this movie was the dialogue. In a way, was a bit too, you know, cheesy and all that. I thought some of the dialogue were I laughed unintentionally to it. Some of the dialogue didn't, you know, they weren't really intending to be funny, but they turned out to be funny really just because of how cheesy they were. Some of the, you know, the pacing, there were some parts where, you know, there were some plot holes here and there, you know, that I thought there's some things that didn't make any sense really. But you know, if you, just like I said earlier, if you're here to watch the movie for the entertainment, you will overlook all these little, you know, gripes. But you know, in general, I don't really have that many gripes about this movie. In my opinion, I thought it was better than the last one. You know, by far, I must say, it was much better than the last one. This one was much better. It was well done. What they achieved their goal with this one. This movie just set out to achieve one goal, and that was to entertain. Nothing more. This movie didn't come to win any awards. It didn't come to win any, you know, to get any, you know, praise from critics. This is not the type of movie or that is looking for a 90%, you know, rating on Rotten Tomatoes or anything. This is a movie that is just made to entertain fans that like action movies, period. You know, don't go into this movie expecting anything more than that, otherwise you come out pissed. That's that. I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a good time. I saw it with a friend. You know, he also enjoyed it. You know, it's what it is. It's pure fun. If you like action movies, you definitely like this one. If you're a fan of 80s or 90s action movies, or if you're a fan of any of the actors in this movie, you certainly, you know, you will certainly be happy with, you know, what you see. I think that's pretty much it, really. Well, go see it. It's a good movie to see. It's worth seeing. You can go check it out, you know, in theaters. It's playing, you know, in theaters wide right now. Go check it out and all. In general, if I'm to grade this movie, I'll give it solid B minus. Really, it's a B movie. It's not that great, but it's a good time. It's a good movie. You know, it's a blast in theaters and all. So go check it out. If you have anything, if you have any comments, if you have anything you want to ask me, you can leave your comments below. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel at KJTV. You can subscribe for more reviews, updates, and movie news and all. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Enjoy the rest of your day.